Hello, I am Bianca and welcome back to At Home with the Holroyds. You've just seen a snippet of us planning out the herb garden behind us. So you got a tick, cause stop. That's a nasty one. That's a nasty one. Show me your face. Show me your face. Anyway, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick look at what we decided to plant in our herb garden. Okay, curry plants, some Italian parsley, coriander, some sage, some chamomile, some oregano, some, I want to say this is, what was it? Brock picked this one. I feel like maybe like lemon balm. Oh, is that the thing? It is. Oh no, hang on. Brahmi. I think that belongs to that. We have thyme. Maybe this is the lemon. Oh no. That's marjoram. Oregano. Okay. That's the lemon balm. Ideally, I'd like this whole thing herbs, but we had a heap of seedlings that needed somewhere to go, so we've planted them in there. Once they grow a bit, we might replant them. But I did have a heap of seeds from survival seeds. They were a medicinal herb mix, so I've kind of just scattered them in between here, and hopefully they pop up. This week's video is a stockpile shop that we did last week. We are starting to stockpile food given the uncertainty of the world at the moment. It might be safer for me to hold on to this one. Yes, so given the state of the world at the moment, we have decided to prioritize getting plants in the ground, as you've seen in our last video, and also stockpiling like necessities. So last week we did a shop, and we were quite heavy on like the non-perishables, so we really stocked up on some cans and things like that. And if you stick around to the end, we actually made a Doomsday style fried rice today for the kids for lunch. And I'll be experimenting with some different sort of meals that can be made using our staple pantry items and things from around our homestead. So chicken from the eggs from the chickens, the herbs, hopefully some vegetables soon, and we also have some beef in the freezer from one of our cows that was processed some time ago, so we're still working through that. So yeah, come along as we unpack those groceries. We usually do a big shop every fortnight, but given the state of the world at the moment, I've done another shop this week, and I'm planning on doing a decent shop every week for the next few weeks, just so that we get a bit of a stockpile of things. I sort of want to stockpile non-perishables, so these are just top-ups and you know, just a few extra frozen veggies and things like that, and a few treat things. So start with, every week we end up getting a heap of milk. We always look for unhomogenized milk, and this stuff from Woolies is pretty good. We alternate between Woolies and Coles, but I definitely look forward to getting this milk when we do our shop at Woolies. The orange juice and the chocolate milk are a treat. Extra block of cheese and some sliced cheese. This is something that we still have because we only shopped last week, but I thought it would be handy to have it in the back of the fridge, and they always last a fair while. Um, some bacon, that's definitely a treat. That's not something we've been buying a lot lately. Some sad little strawberries, but I will do a fruit and veg shop later in the week, but I like to do that myself. Some ice cream for our iced coffees, and just some frozen veg to chuck in the freezer to have as a backup. The issue that I'm having is we still have a pretty stocked fridge from last week. So fitting everything in is going to be a little bit tricky. So we've got some Parmesan cheese, some Greek yogurt, some vanilla Greek yogurt.
I didn't need any tape just to make this little hair dryer.
Yeah, and a few extra butters. Let's start with this lot. So this is some of the stuff that I've got to stockpile, or rather like really boost up our stock. We'll definitely like use this, but it means we have a good backlog, and we'll continue to do this over the next few weeks. So we have a really solid stockpile. There is 7 of us, so we have 5 kids. So this definitely isn't like an excessive amount. It's a lot to have at once, but it will get eaten, and we'll definitely like go through it and use it a fair bit. So let's go through what we've got. I do have a heap of raw sugar there. No, it's not necessarily healthy, but it's definitely a staple. It would mean that if we couldn't get to the shops for any reason, we've got plenty of like flour, sugar, eggs, milk. I did get like long life milk, so we could still make things like pancakes, muffins, things like that. Plenty of spaghetti, fettuccine, different pastas. Also something that's easy, boil up with eggs, cream, bit of cheese, whatever. Carbonara style, another easy meal with minimal ingredients. Some self-raising flour. That's not something I would usually have a whole heap of stock of. I would usually just use flour and baking powder, but just for the off chance. I also really like having the self-raising flour. The only thing I really use it for is like pancakes. Literally a cup of self-raising flour, a cup of milk and an egg, and you've got perfect pancakes. So another good thing to have. These we haven't had before. They're just like microwave pouch rice. It's not ideal. Definitely works out a lot pricier than just getting like normal rice and cooking it yourself, but they're convenient, easy to store. The kids also really like these, like as a snack with some tuna and some nori or whatever, for a bit of an afternoon snack. They also had these ones, they're like flavored with beef broth, and there's a chicken one. Don't know what. Okay, the ingredients are good. Rice, bone broth. There is some sunflower oil in there, sea salt, so that's definitely doable. I feel like they were maybe half price as well, so maybe a couple of bucks. Winning. Just a few teas to have. We don't go through a lot of that, so just have a spare box. Garlic, something else we use a lot of, but I thought it'd be good to have that stocked up. You have with broth, noodles, for the soup or whatever, something else that's easy with minimal ingredients. This is not something we usually buy, but I thought it might be handy to have some things like this in the pantry in case we were short on like spices and things like that. I would imagine you would just add like chicken, some rice, some beans, staples. Some of these tupper soup things, also something we wouldn't usually buy, but I thought they were a great idea to have them in the fridge. Same thing, case of emergency. If we couldn't get to the shop, I guess that's a decent little snack, probably not necessarily a meal. I did get something else and they replaced it with creamy mushroom. Mushroom's gross, but I mean, I probably wouldn't eat that anyway, but Brock and the kids definitely would. We got some baker's flour, a couple of 5 kilo bags. We always have like a huge ass tub of baking flour, like for bread and that, so that thing's full as well. I think we'll get a few more of those jugs just for like the rice and the extra flour and stuff. A big bag of rice. I did also get a couple of 5 kilo bags last week, but that's something, same thing, we go through that a fair bit. So it'll definitely get eaten, but it'll be peace of mind knowing that we have a fair bit there. Nice. Okay, let's pack this away and get on to the next lot. Okay, so these things are definitely more for our stockpile. The only tinned things I usually buy are tinned tomatoes and like the tinned tuna. Other than that, we have like bits and pieces in the cupboard, but it's not like they get used on rotation a lot. Ideally though, we will use them, rotate them. I might actually like even try and use some of these in some meals and see, like, get a bit of a feel of how I would use them if we were like maybe like a pantry challenge. That could be fun as well. But I'm thinking obviously things like tomatoes can be go through pasta, bolognese, all the usual things. The canned veg I thought would be good for like fried rice. We've got all that rice now. We've got some soy sauce, and you could just like chuck some peas, corn, carrots in or whatever. Spaghetti, I guess that's probably just a staple, obvious, with some bread. And then I guess like the corn, the beans, anything else could be like chucked in a stir fry or something. Water chestnuts, delicious in stir fry. I did get some more tuna. The kids like to snack on that, but also something that's great to have on hand. And I did order a few like big tins of tuna for like tuna bake or to go through pasta or whatever. We needed some soy sauce. I got some fruit, also something else that we don't really use tin fruit, but if we were just living out of the pantry, that could go good through like oats or something, like an apple pie flavored oat bake or something. Some snacking fruit for the kids. But yeah, I think I've done all right getting things that like we will use, but also are perfect to have in the cupboards for a rainy day or a flood or a fire or a war. And I did get some baking powder. Yeah, let's see what's next. Okay, so these are the last of like our pantry items. I got like 5 of these 10-litre spring water boxes. I do have a couple put away, but we actually use them. Like if we were to run out of tank water, that's what we would use until we had more delivered. So I really should just have a good stockpile of water, but I don't because I'm not very smart. So we're going to work on that. Some coconut water. We use this like in our smoothies and things like that, but it would also just be a really good option to have in the pantry for hydration, electrolytes and things like that. If for any reason we were lacking in other options. I've never tried these before, but I've seen them and thought that they would be handy to have in the pantry. Although they do, I mean, there's a few nasty things here, but it does have some not so nice ingredients in it, but that would be good in case of emergency. I got 12 long life milks. I did buy a box of 12 last week as well. Same thing. We do find ourselves, I buy heaps of milk, but like I said, we're a large family. We all like coffee and smoothies and things like that. So we go through a fair bit of milk. So every now and then I will find myself reaching for that. 2-minute noodle type things. This is something I don't like to keep in the house because the kids absolutely love 2-minute noodles and would live on them if they could. But also a really good staple to have in the cupboard. I'll just have to hide them in the back of the cupboard somewhere for when we really need them. These will get eaten. The kids really like them. Well, a couple of the kids do. They were like half price, so I got a few of them to make in the top of the cupboard. Then I don't throw the glass ones. Just some like Jats bickies to have with cheese or whatever. If we were low on other snacks, these corn chips are just a staple. We eat a couple of bags of them every week, whether we're just snacking with salsa or like in like nacho type bowls. I usually grab a few bags of these for the big kids for school during the week. So they will definitely get eaten. They won't necessarily get stored away. I needed some more salt, a few treats for the kids, some more chocolate chips for muffins. Or okay, now this doesn't look like a lot, but this isn't stuff that I would usually, I mean, some things I would usually have in the house, but it's not the kind of thing that we usually have a lot of or we use a lot of. When it comes to cleaning, we generally use a little bit of like washing detergent with some like vinegar and water, and that's pretty much what we clean everything in. But I thought it would be really good to have some disinfectant and some bleach because, you know, you just don't know. So I've got a little stockpile of that. That'll go up. That'll last forever, I'm assuming. So no harm in having that in the top of the laundry cabinet. We do get Who Gives a Crap toilet paper, so we don't really need a large stockpile of that. We have never sort of ran out, but these will just be extra ones to go up and away just in case. Some garbage bags. I feel like we would like need more garbage bags in a stockpile, but I will buy a couple like every week for the next few weeks. Soap, this is just like a cheapie soap. Same thing, it's not something we would usually use in our skin every day, but can't hurt to have it stored away for emergencies. Some of our toothpaste. This is our usual toothpaste. It was half price this week, so I grabbed a few. Some laundry liquid. Like I said, haven't tried it. This was the cheapy version for emergencies only. This is the shampoo and conditioner I usually buy. I only got a couple of those though because they do tend to come on sale like pretty regularly. So once they come on sale, I might grab a few more and store it away. And just some spare toothbrushes. Hopefully prices don't increase too drastically in the near future, and a lot of our staples we can just have on hand. So if it does kind of blow out, we've got a good fallback for the things that we enjoy eating and enjoy using. Guys, here's a reality shot, right? These are the groceries that I showed you. I did the groceries like 3 or 4 days ago now, and I have not found space for all these stockpile products. So the aim of today is to get this house in order and create some space for this. Okay, so it's a few days after, and we've finally made some space in the pantry for our stockpile. We definitely feel a little bit more prepared now. We are using these food grade barrels from Bunnings to store our flours and our rices and things like that. Probably should use it to store our pastas, but We will add to that as well. This week I'd really like to get some like batteries, some more garbage bags. There were some other things, but I'll have to look at my list. But this week is our usual shopping week. Today we are going to be making a Doomsday Fried Rice using some of the pantry staples that we bought last week. So from our stockpile, we are going to be taking out some rice, some canned vegetables, and we will be using some eggs from the chickens. We are going to use brown rice because I bought a huge bag of brown rice the other day and one of the kids brought it in from the car and split it open. So let's get started. I'm wondering if I should double it so that we've got leftovers. What have we got going on? Let's double it. So 2 cups of brown rice. Rinse that quite well. We want the grains to like not go too mushy. We want just under 2 cups of liquid. Then we have to double that because we doubled the rice. And we're going to bring that to a boil. And we will probably, I always turn the range hood light on, otherwise I forget that I'm cooking. So we'll bring that to a boil and then we'll simmer it probably for about half an hour for brown rice. Yeah, so let's come back to that. I'm gonna flick this one on. Just like olive oil, butter, tallow, ghee, whatever you have available. I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there. Alright, so I'm probably going to do this in 2 parts. We want it to get like the fry effect. Burning it. Burning like a pot. Add some egg. Next one. So a wolf would definitely be ideal. Drained tin veggies. And then start tossing them together. You can add anything to this flavour, so I'm probably going to use some soy sauce. I'm going to give this to the kids, so and maybe not any like sweet chili, but I might add sweet chili to the next lot. Obviously, you could add salt and pepper. That looks pretty good. There are a million other ways to make this better. but we want to keep it really basic and keep it Doomsday style.
Everyone, please you guys need to make them famous so they get a lot of money so they can buy me a motorbike, and they can also put data on my phone because I don't like to put data on my phone, so I'd love if they would do that. That would be a good one. Going away. I did not like cows. I just want to be not here.
Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time at home with the Holroyds.